Hi, this is Lara at Elliott Wave Forex with a free US dollar index Elliott Wave analysis for you for the trading session ended Monday the 27th of December in New York. Before I go into my main wave count, here's a look at a couple of alternates that I have. This is on a weekly chart going back to early 2008. This alternate wave count sees the dollar in a primary fifth wave to the downside. I have no problem with it so far, with this piece here being seen as an impulse, a three-wave structure down for B intermediate and a five-wave structure up for C at intermediate degree. That's possible. This wave to the downside for a first wave at intermediate degree certainly has an impulsive count, but this wave count has a big problem with trying to see this piece of upwards movement as a correction. It has most strongly a count of 9, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, there's a triangle in here, 8, 9. So it's difficult to see this piece of upwards movement here as a second wave correction. For that reason, I don't favour this wave count. It's an outlying alternate. Thereafter, this wave count expects that the dollar is within a third wave to the downside at intermediate degree. This wave count will be confirmed if price falls below 74.17 and invalidated with movement above 88.71. My triangle alternate wave count, this is the same weekly chart from early 2008, a three-wave structure up for A. Thereafter, either a 3 or a 5 for B, either a 3 or a 5 for C. 4 out of 5 subwaves of a triangle have to subdivide into zigzags, or possibly, especially with E waves, triangles themselves. So we have to see one of these waves, either B or C, must be seen as a corrective structure, a zigzag, and they both have impulsive counts. This one has a count of 9, and this one most easily has a count of 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's difficult to see one of these two waves as a corrective count. For that reason, I don't favour this wave count either. It'll be invalidated with movement above 88.71 because E can't move beyond the end of C. It'll be invalidated in the midterm with any further extension to the downside of D because it can't move below B, below 74.17. This wave count expects further upwards movement to end E, which cannot move beyond the end of C. Thereafter, some strong downwards movement out of the triangle, which should move beyond this point and should move beyond the start of A, which is off to the left of the chart. So I also don't favour this wave count because you have to see one of these as a corrective structure, and I think that's being a bit flexible with the rules. However, this is my main wave count and the subdivisions fit quite nicely. This wave count sees the dollar in a C wave at cycle degree to the upside. Of that, we've had primary 1, an expanded flat A, B, C for primary 2, and working on primary 3 with a 1 and a very deep correction of 2, expecting a third wave at intermediate degree to the upside now, this wave count will be confirmed when wave 3 moves beyond the end of 1. Any further extension to the downside of the second wave cannot move beyond the start of 1. I like this wave count because the subdivisions fit really nicely, and this expanded flat structure here for primary 2 is a textbook perfect expanded flat. This B wave is a 111% correction of this A wave, and wave C here is just 1.94 short of 1.618 the length of A. So that's what I mean by textbook perfect expanded flat. So I wouldn't really want to try and see this structure here as anything but an expanded flat. Taking you now to a daily chart just for the last little while, where this black 2 down here is this black 2 down here, and this is the start of intermediate wave 3 to the upside. I've drawn this trend channel around this correction for wave 2 black, and we can see a really clear breach to the upside of this trend channel, giving us an indication that the trend has changed from down to up. I expect we've had just the end of pink or minute wave 1 within black wave 3, so we still don't have an end to blue or minor 1, just wave 1 within it. Thereafter, a nice clean three-wave structure to the downside, so we've got an impulse to the upside and a correction to the downside. Any further downwards movement should not move below 78.819, as a second wave correction within wave 3 pink may not move beyond the start of the first. This wave count will be confirmed when we see price movement above 88.71. That's the high of wave 1 black, which is now just off to the left of the chart because wave 3 black has to move beyond the start of 1. And in the long term, my target to the upside is 99.16, where wave 3 black will reach 1.618, the length of wave 1. I expect it's going to be quite a bit longer than wave 1, as wave 2 was a very deep correction of wave 1, so it's normally in that situation expected that wave 3 will be comfortably longer than wave 1. Taking you now to an hourly chart, where this pink 2 will be just off to the left of the chart, and the low for this bar here is the low for this bar here. And within pink wave 3, we've had an end to orange wave 1, and the sideways movement that the dollar's been within for the last week is probably most likely a flat correction for a second wave. We've got a 3-wave structure for A, which is itself an expanded flat. Wave B within it is a 131% correction of A, and wave C here, a nice 5-wave structure, is just 0.027 short of 1.618 the length of A, so pretty typical expanded flat for wave A there. Thereafter an A 3-wave structure for B with a truncated C within it. That's one of the only problems I have with this wave count, and an impulse to the upside for wave C to end wave B of this expanded flat correction. This B wave at purple degree is a 154% correction of wave A purple, and wave C purple, if it was indeed over here, is exactly equal to 1.618 the length of wave A purple taken from its orthodox start to its end. So we've got a 3 for A, a 3 for B, and a 5 for C, which is exactly 1.618 the length of A. So I expect for the short term we probably won't see any movement below this point here, and we should see upwards movement from the dollar. Any further extension to the downside of this C wave, any further extension of this 5th wave within it to the downside may not move below 78.819. We may see just a little bit further downwards movement, but I expect that's fairly unlikely. We've got probably a leading contracting diagonal to the upside for a first wave here, and so far a 3-wave structure to the downside. We should be looking for further upwards movement from the dollar, and at 83.135, wave 3 orange will reach 1.618, the length of wave 1 orange, which ended up here. So that's a short-term target which may be achieved in another 1 to 2 weeks trading. So that's all from me with your free US dollar index analysis. If you would like daily analysis of the euro dollar and or the pound dollar, you'll find it on my site. I hope this helps you when you're trading, and I hope everyone else also had a fabulous Christmas.